this, Chris Hedges, this idea of strategic voting?
I think it's an utter failure. I mean, one of the things that the WikiLeaks Podesta emails showed is that they were putting in place this neoliberal policy. Froman, who was then, and now he's now a U.S. trade representative, he at the time was at Citibank in October, before Obama even achieved power. He's sending out a list of cabinet positions, most all of which came to pass. That's certainly happening now. I think that we have to step outside this corporate two-party duopoly and begin to empower right now the third party, that I think represents or challenges corporate power most effectively is the Green. It has issues, it functions well in cities like Richmond, California, doesn't function as well in other places. But if they can poll 15%, that gives them ballot access in 2020 in a few dozen states, and it gives them $10 million. I think that now is the time to, as Cereza did a decade ago, to fight back, because we have very little time left. One of the things we have to remember is that we have a large number of supporters of Donald Trump who celebrate American violence through the gun culture, open racism, neo-Confederist movements, nativist movements. And Trump, I think, has made clear now on the campaign trail that he will essentially attempt to discredit the system if he loses. And right now they are working within the system. But unleashing that rage, or essentially legitimizing that rage and that kind of violence after the election will begin to really rent the fabric of American society. We have no more time to play around. We haven't even spoken about the issue of climate change. We know from the leaked emails that Hillary Clinton is a fan of fracking. She brags about promoting fracking in Poland and other places as Secretary of State. We just the kind of weakness of the system itself cannot, I think, sustain much more of this assault without dramatic and frightening blowback and ramifications. And I think Trump is systematic of that. So, as I've said many times, I think we have to do what many Podemos and many parties in Europe have done. We have to walk into the political wilderness. We have to build movements and we have to build alternative third parties that challenge this system, because the inevitable result is a kind of frightening police state. Legally, it's already in place. Physically, in marginal communities, they've been turned virtually into mini police states. The system of mass incarceration will not be affected in any meaningful way. Of course, it was the Clintons that put much of it in place. We just saw this very courageous prisoner strike where the prisoners did work stoppages because they said the only way to stop this system of neo-slavery is to stop being a slave. And I think that is a level of political consciousness that the rest of us have to begin to attain.
So, Professor Glaude, you're